Okay, well, let's get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here at the New Gallery Concert Series virtual event called Mahia. Thank you, Jonathan, for that and letting me steal that. And um, and thank you to all of our participants. Unfortunately, Fabiola couldn't be with us tonight, but uh, you know how to find her online, I'm sure. Listen to more of her music and see where she's performing. Um, and hopefully she will be back on New Gal as well at some point. I want to introduce everyone here. I'd love to get a dialogue going. So feel free to chat us up. But if you have any specific questions, please use the Q&A so I know to look there specifically, and I might check the chat out later because I'm not the best multitasker. Okay, so we have here, well, myself, I'm Sarah Bob. I'm the director of New Gallery Concert Series, and this is our 24th season. We started this virtual tradition during the pandemic. It's a great way to reach out to more people all over the country and the world, and to be able to bring people in from all over the country and the world. This is, I don't know, do you each want to introduce yourself or like?
I'm Aaron Trant. I did the percussion music for the interludes and the intro and the outro.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Right. I'm Daniel Callahan, and mine was the visual artwork as well as the spoken word.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Moore, and I played bass clarinet on Kevin's beautiful piece.
Hi, I'm Kevin. I wrote Who Rules Everything Around Me, and um, yeah, I'm a composer and a pianist and a DJ. So
Should I go next? Okay. My name is Jonathan Suazo. Very happy to be here. Congratulations to everybody. Those were amazing pieces and performances. Yeah, I wrote the two compositions entitled Nuestro Jardín and La Magia. And very happy to be here. Saxophonist, composer.
And hello, my name is Jeffrey Edwards. I am the production manager at the Laundry School of Music. I got to do some of the audio recording and video recording on Laundry's campus, and we got to see some of the hall and some of those shots there. And I'm really happy to be here on this panel with all of you. It was a really great event, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and also thank you all. And also missing tonight is Scott Quady, who was my right-hand man in doing all the video editing. So I'm going to open this up first to all of you because actually this is the first time everyone's seen this put together, except for me and Scott. This is the first time Kevin, you didn't even hear the final recording of this. This is the first, so this is the first for a lot of things. And I'm wondering what your initial reactions were. Did you, I took your music and then I took Daniel's art and I made it into something different that I might not, or probably wasn't what you had envisioned. And I'm just curious how that worked for you. And who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was really beautifully put together. And it was great just to see how you used all these different elements from all these different artists and really create something that felt very cohesive. And yeah, just really, really nice, really pretty, really beautiful. So thank you, sir. I know that wasn't easy. I know that was a lot of hard work. And just want to, yeah, thank you for what you did. I thought it was wonderful.
yeah, I want to second that and just like say how grateful I am that y'all put so much energy and emotion into the playing and into the visual piece. Like I really felt like you got into the emotional depth of it, and that's what I wanted from this, So thank you. Yeah. And I loved like my favorite, I think, part was like the still shots of people's faces with my music. I wasn't even I didn't consider that as I just didn't know that was going to happen, and I was really pleasantly surprised, and I felt like it was emotionally effective. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I want to say that I think Sarah is a real builder in so many ways. I think a community builder and just, taking these disparate elements, all awesome elements. You all are amazing artists, and putting them together in a way that I don't think anyone would think of. And I'm always just really impressed by what Sarah does. And I was really happy to hear and see all of you tonight, and happy to be part of it.
Oh, Jonathan, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything, but I'm jumping in here. It's really nerve-wracking to take something that's so precious, it's a part of each of you, right? And mess around with it. And you know, I know what I saw, art is so what you see of your from yourself, right? So, Daniel, I told you the one video in particular moved me so much, and later you told me that was your grandmother. Am I correct? And I knew that for me it was really important. I don't know what it is, but she is so special. Never met, but like seeing her in that was just so moving to me without the music, just watching her. And um, um, it was really powerful for me with Jonathan's music, Mahia, excuse me, to like, I don't know, she felt like magic to me. And then when you brought that piece in, Jonathan, it was really special for me to figure that out. And also even just the dramatic elements. I have to say one of my favorite things is I don't know any of your participants' names, Daniel, but the end of Kevin's piece, when it's just a duo, the man who's looking up, and then we timed it so that he looked with the last piece. I there's just so much drama in what I was seeing, and it was just very exciting to be able to put these things together with my fingers crossed that it did something. So Daniel, specifically for you, were you surprised which images I chose? And the people laughing, so everyone knows I got these videos from Daniel and I took things out. This wasn't the order he sent it in. I took a snippet from here, a snippet from there. And all those laughing in the closing credits, those laughing faces, those were interspersed throughout. And every time I saw those, it brought me so much joy. And I wanted to make sure it was in there collectively somehow. And it didn't work with the music that we had. And that's fine. And that's why I'm just really so grateful to Aaron also for stepping in and providing these. I feel like Aaron's work in this is the glue of the program between that outer side and then in between. I just it's really powerful to me, and to be able to still send a message, to be able to work with your art first. A lot of this time, Daniel, I worked with the music first and then added yours in, but with Aaron, it was you first, and it's just incredible. I don't know if either of you want to talk about that, but I guess first my question was, were you surprised by which images I chose and which videos and what you thought was going to happen here?
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. And it really was quite magical. So that is my grandmother, and she transitioned, so she's no longer with us. And that was, I was so fortunate to have been able to mask her before her transition. And so every time I see that, I see her, it feels like she's looking at me from the other side. And so I agree, the music was so perfect, and I got a sense that she was happy, like that she was that she was proud to be a part of this. And so that was really beautiful. And the man who looks at the camera, that's my father. And at the very beginning, the first mask we see is my mother. And so like my mask work has always pushed me towards sort of vulnerabilities, but also strengths that I never knew I had, and has pushed me towards my community. And my work is very much a story about my relationship with the people I love. And so I thought it was so beautiful with these pieces that we heard tonight. They all have this strong sense of love in them. And it just felt so right. Just hearing that, and you know, Jonathan, big ups to you, and Kevin, big ups to you. Just your pieces really evoke emotion, and I felt like those emotions were really perfect for the pieces because of that significance that those pieces have, you know, in my own life. So kudos to you, Sarah. I know it was very intuitive, but that's probably the best way and most accurate way to do these things is just through your intuition because it was right.
Well, I really love that I did not know that that was your mother or your father. And I found out that was your grandmother after I had already fallen in love with her and wanted to make sure she was a part of this. So that's amazing to me. Yeah. Um, yeah, how about anyone else about, you know, what they were expecting or how did it change your music?
Yeah, for I want to pitch in a little bit. I definitely want to shout out Daniel because those visuals were just amazing. The mask work is so beautiful. I screenshot like specific moments through like the entire video, and like right at the end of that first piece, that last mask where the and I believe that's your father who's looking up slightly, and there's like red, pink in this area and yellow. That's such a beautiful, like it just caught me. I was like, whoa, what? What is this? And it ended perfectly with the music, and then transitioning with those slightly shorter electronic focused music with those slightly edgier masks really hit a chord with me because I love avant-garde music, and I'm also like a co-founder of an experimental trio that does just improvise music. It's just like we can't say anything to each other about anything that's going to happen, and then it gave me a lot of that vibe and just the intricacies with like the music and the mask and the colors. That was a great segue between each track. And then on my particular tracks, Sarah, the transitions that you offered with Daniel's work were very beautiful. And then just the fact that that was your grandmother, Daniel, that in La Magia, it just gave me like a really strong sense of peace and of coming full circle with what the piece is about. Because the piece in the format that it's possibly going to be played later, it's going to be like a bigger format type of thing, and it's going to mix both of my roots, my Puerto Rican roots and my Dominican roots. So just seeing somebody that's part of your family that embodies all of your roots, and she already transitioned and possibly is looking down on this experience is something that really gave me like a sense of I want to be able to be her age and look back on some of the things that we planted tonight and laugh just like she did. There was like this honest laugh that I really connected with, like right towards the end. I got emotional because it was, yeah, it was beautiful. So the transitions were great. The placement on everything was great. Our garden and then, you know, the leaf theme, and then sort of hovering the image on top of the performance, but not quite putting it in there. Yeah, it's a I don't think I had that many pleasant virtual experiences during the pandemic, and thus I think I'm slightly traumatized by virtual experienced experiences. But this one was great, and I'm very glad that I was a part of it, and I hope that I could be a part of some more. And Kevin, that composition was badass, and I don't know how to pronounce exactly your name. Rainy, Ra,
It's Ronnie. Thank you
Ronnie,
for asking.
Ronnie. The bass clarinet is so killing. It is so killing. It just like those very low notes. It shakes my soul.
It
I
has
have
been
a
my
really
dream. It has been my dream to commission someone, and it was Kevin to write a bass clarinet piano piece because I want to play with bass clarinet, and I never get to. And so, thank you to Ronnie and Kevin for making that dream come true. Oh my gosh,
there's
yeah, bass
there's
clarinet.
there's always like a part of my heart that goes out to each and every clarinetist in the world because that instrument does not agree with me like at all. So I'm always like, yeah, I wish I could do that. You do it though, and you do it so good though. And it's such a cool instrument. Kudos to both of you, Sarah. That was amazing playing and great interplay with the verbals on Daniel's end and those transitions. Um, I think this was yeah a great collection of works. That's my impression, and I was pleasantly surprised and very happy to be a part of it. Happy to keep collaborating and making new things happen. 2024, let's get it.
That is exactly what I want to hear. And I'd love to hear, obviously from everyone, Kevin, your experience, and also Ronnie, what it was. I don't know, have you ever played a piece for bass clarinet and piano and then with rap also? But Kevin, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean everything from like just the sensitivity that you brought to the piece, like I really feel like I went there. Like I felt like you brought the drama that I like to have in the piece. Like, that's a big thing for me is just like storytelling in the music. And that was definitely present throughout the whole presentation and the way you performed. So I'm just really grateful, honestly. I'm so happy that this happened. Um, and yeah, I think like the rapping was incredible to hear over the music. It kind of just fit perfectly. I was like, okay, period. Like, okay, Daniel, like, no, it really fit, and it felt like they made each other more powerful, you know. So
So just so everyone knows,
Appreciate that.
Kevin had the task of I reached out to him. I said, I really want a bass clarinet and piano piece, which just so y'all know, that's not normal or that's not typical. I don't, yeah, but I've always wanted to work with bass clarinet. Oh, okay. I have never done it.
yeah, I don't think it's common for sure.
No.
It's not.
And then getting Daniel in the mix, I was like, and then also you need to leave room for Daniel to be able to rap with it and do something else. And so Kevin really had to think like, how can I make this its own piece just as a duo? But then also enough openness and space for someone for Daniel to come in and go groove over it. And I think it was quite successful how you put that together.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's like it's a big thing to ask. Bass clarinet and piano, I would say is not totally common. I mean, there are pieces that exist out there, and but I think the opportunity to work with Sarah and I've worked with Kevin in a lot of different ways as pianist, but I hadn't heard any of his pieces, and I think I love the space in the piece. I think in your introduction, you said a little bit about leaving space for the listener to sort of make what they want out of it. And I think yeah,
Yeah,
the,
yeah. It was kind
there
of.
is,
I
yeah,
like heavy silences. Yeah, I like I like silences that feel heavy with feeling. Yeah.
absolutely. I love that. I loved playing the piece. There were chances for real expressive moments and a chance to sort of, yeah, rock out a little bit on the low notes. which I appreciate. And I I see Jonathan there, cheering me on. And I think that I've never, well, I have to think about it, but I don't think I've ever played a piece with a rapper before. And I think it worked super well. You know, just between you and me, I don't actually listen to words almost ever. It's just I've never have. And but I think that Daniel has this really natural rhythm and flow, and you know, I loved having the words on the screen that sort of helped me, and I think it really complemented Kevin's piece. I was super happy to be a part of it, and yeah, thank you guys. Oh, I wanted to say actually that I watched the show with my 2-year-old nephew who was riveted.
Oh, good.
Musically, and I think I think there was something for everyone. The images, I think, for him were absolutely riveting as well.
Our daughter was watching too, but
Yeah.
she's half asleep now. She was also in. And before we get to you, Jeff, I'm turning to you, Aaron. Talk to us about you had a slew of images to choose from of Daniel's. What made you choose those? What made you choose those particular instruments? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So I went through, I'm not sure how many of them there were, 15 or 20 images maybe. And the 3 that I chose for the stills, they popped out at me. One, just the initial visual look of them spoke to me. Something about, well, each one I thought was very clear, and it sort of invoked something right away musically. You know, the second I saw them, I was like, oh, I could, you know, kind of do something in my brain. I'm thinking, oh, something sort of like this, and this, oh, this is sort of like this, and also the titles of those helped too. Underwater, you know, is very much, you know, sparks all kinds of, you know, very specific sounds that I could play with. And Pac-Man. So I thought I could do a little groovy pseudo video game music, which was fun. Yeah, so that's pretty much how I came about choosing those images. And then musically, the underwater thing, part of that, why I picked that, because of the underwater aspect of it. There's lots of, you know, water sounds in percussion, from literally using water to dipping things in water so they pitch bend and that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to get that literal with the underwater. And I have a student at NEC currently who is, he wrote a book on an instrument called a handpan, which is a cylindrical bowl type instrument made out of metal that has different areas that you hit to have different pitches. And he gifted me one, which was very generous of him. And his book that he wrote and compiled, he wrote a whole method of how to play it and all this stuff. And it's great. So I haven't been messing around too much with the book because it's in Chinese, and it's hard for me to read the descriptions of the different ways to play it. But it's also a pretty intuitive instrument as far as how you play it. So I've been playing around with that instrument a little bit. And when I saw the underwater image in particular, I thought, oh, this would actually be a great application for the handpan. So that's another reason why I chose that one in particular. But yeah.
And also,
yeah, sorry, just if I may,
go for it.
Aaron, I love that piece particularly. I thought that piece was so perfect. And I think because, yeah, the tones of that are similar to sort of water drums, or there's a similar kind of like aesthetic to that. And so I feel like that really, really worked. And I also love the piece that you did for the Starburst. It just felt like I was hearing the mask, which was really dope. So kudos to you for that. And Kevin, I think I've listened to your piece like maybe 200 times at this point.
You're not tired of it yet?
No, that was a thing. Like the more I actually listened to it, the more I actually liked it. You know, like at first I was trying to figure it out. but especially the sections that I rap to, like they just hit. And actually the more I listen to them, the more and more they grow on me. So really, really appreciate that. Yeah.
Okay, Daniel, I might be throwing you under the bus here, so correct me if I'm wrong. You just said Starburst. Is it Starburst or Sunburst? The name of that?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Because I kept flipping them around too.
Something's bursting.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I messed up. I shouldn't be admitting this. I messed it up on the program, and then I changed it back to Sunburst. And then I had
You probably messed it up because I messed it up.
Okay, that makes it
yeah.
I also want to say to everyone, you're all here. The link will actually last for another 24 hours. So feel free to go back and watch and listen. And then also after that, it will be gone. And we will be showing it as a free outdoor movie sometime in the summer. I will let you know when. It would be great if all of you participants could be there. I hopefully will be able to bring some of you in to do something before the actual show. We usually have JP Licks ice cream for free there too. But anyway, you'll hear about that later. And then after that, it will live on our YouTube page for people to relive and re-listen and rewatch, both as in its entirety and then as each, I don't know how to play, as a track. And I wanted to just open the floor to Jeffrey here too for a second. What it was, we come in and we say, here's what we're doing, figure it out. How this experience was for you too. And anytime New Gal comes into the Laundry Station, we're very grateful for you and your team and for Laundry for this platform.
Yeah, it's certainly coming from the recording end. I've mentioned this to artists that I've recorded previously. While we definitely got context, or you had told me and my team about like what this event was, I do just want to say I actually have never experienced an event like this, and this was really cool to have been watching and knowing that I was able to contribute to this project in some sort of way. But I was there for the recording of Kevin's piece, and I now know, Kevin, that was your piece, and I just need to say, Kevin, incredible piece. I really loved it. And, every time we did the recordings both days, I was walking away, just hearing like da 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 da. Like that was just like it was like this like heartbeat sound that just stuck with me. But going back to what I was saying, just like having recorded artists, right? You usually record in like snippets and you get parts of it and you take multiple takes and you take different parts, but maybe not completely in full when you're recording. And so I knew that this would just be one segment of the project. And so it almost kind of left me on this cliffhanger after recording. It's like, okay, so I'm going to see like what I was a part of doing this. It's kind of like my dad would do like background acting stuff, and he would just say like, go to this set and do this, but he wasn't told what it was for. Then you find out he was in the most recent Spider-Man movie, or he was in like Night at the Museum or something like that. This kind of had that like similar feeling where I kind of just did. I came in, I recorded, I heard, obviously I took the message, I heard the composition, I got an idea of what this event was going to be. But then like once you're watching it, you're like, whoa, like this is what I was able to be a part of. And to see the collaboration amongst you guys, the virtual collaboration in this way was just it was really incredible. And seeing like the recording and the project and the work that you guys did come to life in this full virtual event was just honestly like I've never been able to be a part of it. Similarly, I have some PTSD just from like COVID times and doing virtual events and stuff and like trying to make that work. But seeing this, just it felt so alive, and it really did feel like I was watching from like I was watching a stage like as an audience member. And I really love that. And also I just need to say like the variety of timbres that you heard from the different pieces, it made it feel as colorful as the visuals were. And I really liked that. And I was saying to Daniel earlier, the spoken word being in the middle of it. Kevin, you mentioned the idea of like the silences in your piece, like they're just as critical in the dialogue between the piano and the clarinet, what was going on there. You could almost feel those like silences, the moments where you're just reading, or the moments where images are changing, that just that exchange of sound and no sound, and moments to contemplate and moments to reflect on like what you just heard or what you just saw. I think that's really important in a performance, and you can see how much it really did for this virtual event. And so, yeah, I'm really happy I could be a part of that. And I now realize like the recording was, a piece of it. And I'm just glad I could be a part of this full collaboration with you guys. And I hope to be part of more in that case.
Thank you.
Yeah. If I just wanted to add on to that, like the fact that we're able to collaborate from across the country and like create a virtual event that has so much emotion in it and like ended up so beautifully smooth and worked so well, like I think is like just indicative of like the power of art. And it's corny, like what but like it just makes me feel happy, and like it makes me feel connected to all of you, through this process in some way. And yeah, like thinking about the still shots on people's faces, and that combined with the silence and the fact that like Sarah knew to put me and Daniel together, and with Jonathan's music as well, and then also like Aaron seeing like these still shots, putting them with the silences and the music, and like that working together, like we all kind of just had like a bit and a piece of like everything, and then it happened and it worked. So it's cool. Yeah, and there's something else I was gonna say. I guess yeah, I just the sound of the bass clarinet and the piano too. I love the sound so much. Like mixing together the especially the parts where it's like whole notes, like sorry, whole tones, like up against each other that are like close up. Like I mean that's like, music nerd stuff, but like I just really love like when there's like some slight dissonance like between the bass clarinet and the piano. I love it. And yeah, okay. That's it.
Yeah,
If you don't
composers
mind.
out there, take note.
Yeah.
Please, some more pieces. I actually had a question for Jonathan. Beautiful pieces. I was wondering, you and Fabiola sound so amazing together. Do you play together all the time? Do you have a duo?
We play together like private gigs and odd gigs that usually not a lot of people know about. But
Uh-huh.
as time has gone on, and I think it was last year that we premiered the one called Nuestro Jardín as part of a video series that Fabiola did in duo format with a whole bunch of different instruments. I kind of think that opened a door for both of us to keep doing stuff together because I feel like we're both really in tune with the stuff that we can do on our instruments and with the meaning that we give to the pieces. And I feel like we can both hone in on that, yeah, on that type of energy on any given piece. So yeah, I appreciate that. I think we do have a duo going on. I think we could just call it that. We just call it right here. We do.
You know,
Um,
please,
yeah, we
if you
did. We did a
all,
lot
Claim
of
it,
stuff
claim it.
during the holiday. Yeah, we during the holidays in Puerto Rico, we did like a whole bunch of gigs and stuff. But it's just stuff people like hotel stuff. People don't know about it, but during those times, our type of it's our moment, just like Kevin was saying, like our music nerd moment to like connect and kind of like play and be like, yeah, I think, yeah,
without
yeah.
without trying to insult Daniel, it was when I got your videos, it's so beautiful to watch you both. I was like, maybe I shouldn't put any art on this, the way you two connect and communicate with each other.
Oh,
I
thank
mean,
you.
yeah, it's very beautiful. I hope you both come on for a live event as well, which is something I would love for people viewing right now. I don't know if this is your first time to a New Gal event ever or your first virtual, but as I said before, the virtual event started during the pandemic, and it was really important to me to not make it a concert that you just watch online, to make it something specific for this medium, because it was depressing for me to watch concerts just, I don't know, I wanted to make it something different, and it seemed to resonate with people. And so that's why we decided to try to keep, even though, well, COVID's not over, but this part is over. We wanted to see what it was like to keep this virtual element in the winter, which is great in Boston to not have to go out. But I'm curious, I would love, whether it's here or if you want to send me an email, your feedback on continuing this virtual element every winter, still having the live events, which I hope you all take part of as well. It's something I think about a lot, you know. Do people want to come and sit and look at their computer again? It is traumatic from COVID times. But I also feel like it's really it's another creative muscle to flex that I find inspiring, and I'm hoping that translates as well. I see we have a question here, and then if anybody else has any questions, now is your time to put it in the Q&A, because we'll be wrapping this up soon. But the question is, what was the spark that kindled this fire? Was there a central theme, or had you all worked together in the past? So we can all jump into that. I had an idea for a theme that ended up, as you saw, changing. I knew I wanted a bass clarinet piece, and to me that was groovy and gritty right then and there. So that's how that sort of started. I knew it, and then, you know, reaching out to Daniel. Actually, when I first talked to Daniel, I knew I wanted him on the series, and we hadn't decided which event he was going to do, whether it was going to be this virtual one or a live in-person one. And we went through all the themes, and again, we talked about connection, we talked about transcendence, we talked about well, he has many projects. And again, if you all want to use the chat and write in some links to some of the things you're doing, you have a lot of really amazing things going on in your careers. And just trying to bring that all in. I've been a fan of Daniel's for a long time, his masking and just him as a human being. And so it was a real honor to be able to invite him and have him say yes to be a part of this. So I started with that, and then it grew, you know. I'd never met Jonathan before. I had Fabiola on a couple of seasons ago on Adopt and Adapt. That was our first in-person event after the pandemic. She was with her trio. And I had, you know, she was my daughter's kindergarten music teacher, who's hiding behind me right now. But the idea is recognizing what a beautiful artist she is. And then when I researched her, I discovered Jonathan. No, and then hearing his music and that connection, and it's just, you know, part of why I started this series is I like relationships. I like relationships with music. I like relationships with people. I like relationships with art. And this is just an incredible way for me. It's selfish. It's a way for me to connect and to get to grow my ears, my eyes, my heart. That is for me, but it is true, just through all of everyone's art, and not just seeing it and hearing it, but being immersed in it. And so I guess those were many sparks that transpired. And like I said in my intro, you know, poor Aaron, you know, the couple weeks leading up to this event, I was like, it's not groove and grit. This program is not groove and grit. It's got some groove, it's got some grit, but it's not, and something else. And so that was also the moral support where I thanked him for, like, I was like, I think I need to change the name. He was like, do it. And I was like, yeah, this is mine. I'll just do it. And so thank you.
Could I speak to that real quick? Yeah. Just because, like, when you asked me to write this piece, like, that was like groove and grit oriented, like, I promise that I was excited to write like something that was like more groovy and gritty, had like more edge to it, you know. But then, you know, it just happens when you start writing sometimes that it's like, this is what I need to express right now. And I'm also not the kind of person that like can necessarily sort of like fit my voice into like preconceived like idea of what it's supposed to be. Like, I very much have to go with like what I'm feeling at the time.
1000%. And I'm so grateful for that. And by the way, that wasn't a slam on what you
no, I just wanted to explain like I wanted to
your piece has groove and grit. I don't mean that. I meant it was more existential than that, actually, Kevin. And actually, that is also part of how I run this show. And I think hopefully Jonathan and Fabiola felt this too. Like I said, yeah, you know, this is the general theme, but you do you. Like, I will never tell anyone what to paint, what to compose. I'll throw out what I'm thinking and what the energy that I'm feeling, but I would never ever lead you to do something so specific that it's not you. So absolutely no. Oh, you it's perfect, Kevin. And it's perfect. And the whole thing, it's what needed to happen. So thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say, in terms of the question, what was the spark that kindled this fire? It was Sarah. Sarah Sarah has her own fire, and you know, she's an Energizer bunny, and you know, I can only imagine how much back and forth between all these different people with our busy schedules and everything to make this happen. And you know, all along the way you were just adding that energy, and it's kind of infectious, you know. And seeing your passion, it definitely, I think, pushed all of us. I can just speak for myself. It pushed me to really want to give my all to this. And it was kind of a tough time for me, like, you know, just in terms of other things that I had going. But I really appreciate your drive, because it pushed me to you know, to really invest in this, and I'm so glad I did.
Well, that's a great place to end. Unless, does anyone else have anything they'd like to say? Any other on the panel or in our audience?
I want to say something. I think it's like a general theme that we've been mentioning, how, and just what you said, Sarah, about I like bringing people together. I like learning new things. And I think as the industry continually attempts to devalue music by putting on like super low subscriptions to insignificant amounts of revenue for artists, I think it's very important to create musically charged experiences that highlight what the value of music really is, heightens the value, the true value that music has, and it's a catalyst for change, it's a catalyst for human connection, you know. So I think this is very important. And I think at the core, we all kind of need that. That's kind of why we're making music. You know, we can't necessarily make, we can sort of make it in our in the privacy of our homes, but at the end it has to connect with somebody. And that's the true power of music. I think that at the core, that's probably what sparked everything, you know. And I really got to thank you, Sarah, for just being on top of these things, on jumping in to stimulate the production of ideas, you know, the bringing stuff to the table. So yeah, that's all I got to say.
Thank you.
More stuff like this, more community, more value to music, please.
Thank you all so much. And everyone, you have programs. I have a program link. I hope you click on it and read about all these participants and follow them. Everybody here has really exciting things going on. Another really special shout out to Scott Quady, who my video editor, who really he's wonderful. I'm sorry he couldn't be here tonight, but he makes the process as easy as possible for me, and he really takes my ideas and makes them better. So thank you all a lot. Our next event is live. It's on March 23rd. It's called Legacy. And it will be at Pickman Hall at Laundry School of Music. Please mark your calendars for that if you're not there. Or if you don't have a calendar right now to write it down, you can also just click right now. I believe someone on my board put our website address. You could join our mailing list. I promise you don't get lots of stuff. You get concert announcements, and event announcements, art announcements. And please stay in touch. that's a lot of why I started this, to be in touch with the musicians around me, but also the community around me. I care deeply about it and the arts and us thriving, all of us. So thank you. Thank you, everyone. And are there any more questions? No. Thank you, Ms. Callahan, or Dr. Callahan. Is she doctor? Why do I think that? Is that true?
Yeah, she's a
Oh, I
doctor.
was right. Yeah, I remember. I hope. Thank you so much. You're awesome in the opening. Isn't the opening so good, right? I would like to talk to you later about that at some point. What I get out of those when I see that video. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks again.
We'll
Peace.
Thank
see you
you.
soon. Thank you, everybody, for coming, for listening. Peace.